So for this video, we're going to be going over the 6-player blitz at a big nickel over G. Now this is going to be similar to the nickel 3-3-5 blitz in that it's going to be a timely blitz that we're going to send when we have a strong feeling that our opponent's going to send 5 out. With the way the meta is currently, a lot of people are sending 3 rushers, maybe even 2 at times. Definitely something that I'm doing. And when you do that, it kind of forces your opponent to send 5 out to try to counter the 8 or 9 people that you have in coverage. It's tough to get things open when you have less options at receiver. So when they're sending the 5 out, that leaves them open to 6-player blitzes that can get in very quickly. Now, not just sending a 6-person blitz is not necessarily going to be getting to the quarterback quick enough to make a play, because if they have time in the pocket, they are able to make that read with only 5 versus 5 in coverage, right? So you want that blitz to get there as quickly as possible. And this blitz out of big nickel and the blitz out of nickel 3-3-5, both can get to the quarterback really quickly with the slot cornerback coming in. So it's important to note here, I went over this in the miscellaneous. Make sure you have that slot CB package so that you can do the adjustments that you want to do. The adjustments will go back to normal for you out of this big nickel. And then the only thing I'm going to note here, since we already kind of went over personnel in the miscellaneous section, is that you want to make sure you have a fast slot corner. We're using Avonte Maddox from the Eagles. Whatever team that you're using, it doesn't really matter. You just want the fastest corner that you have here at this spot. And then if you have great man coverage, that helps as well, because this slot corner will be playing a decent amount of man coverage from there. Just good pass rushers. Speed on the end positions helps as well. But good pass rushers will also help, just because if you can create block sheds, that'll allow for less blockers and even quicker blitzes to come in, right? So we're going to start off with the big nickel. We'll go against trips tight end. I'll show it against a few formations just to show you that it works against multiple things, and that you can get after the quarterback quickly. So we'll start with big nickel. And the 2 plays that I want to recommend using are going to be this SS Blitz 3 and then the SS Blitz 2. You can also use the SS Linebacker Blitz, the cover 0. However, against something like a trips tight end, your alignment's going to get messed up, and you're not going to have the slot corner blitzing at the spot that you want them in. So it can get a little bit tricky to use against spread out formations like that. But against something like gun bunch, it'll work fine, and I can even show that to you here. But first we're gonna start off with the gun trips tight end, and we'll just start off with the SS Blitz 3. So we're in this cover 3 here, and as always, the setup will be written in the description, so you don't have to memorize it. But it's a rather quick setup. You're just gonna press, pinch the line, and then against like a spread out formation like this, you'll likely have to move the slot corner in. I like to put them right over top of B, just like that. And that disguises it well. So when you're not in the blitz, you can man that player up to B, get a press man coverage. You can put them in a zone, whatever the case may be. And that way you can kind of keep the same look. But at the same time, it allows you a quick blitz to come in right off that edge. Against something like a bunch, you don't have to move the slot corner at all. But against something like this, like a trips tight end, you will have to move them. Now the rest of the setup here, you're just going to spy this linebacker. And you're going to be sending that spy as a quote-unquote delayed blitz. It's going to be very slightly delayed. As soon as they hike the ball, you're going to click that right stick, which is the sending spy mechanic. And it's going to act, and it's just going to start blitzing. So it just slightly delays it, and it can mess up the O-line a little bit and allow that slot corner to come in free very quickly. Now, something I do want to note here is if you're in the cover 3 like this, we just spied that that flat zone that's on the right. You don't have to spy that linebacker. You can spy this one as well, and then user this one. But I prefer to just spy that one that's already in the right position, that's right there. It's like, for example, when you started the play from the cover 3, your player's out here. You don't want to spy them here and then just leave them. If you're going to do that, you're going to want to move them in. So I prefer to just use this one and spy the other one. But if you're going to do that, you likely want to replace that flat zone. So what you can do is you can put that other safety in the flat like this. And then if you want to replace that deep blue, you can do that with the other safety. So just like that, make sure you don't give up anything deep. But at the same time, you're covering that flat. And if you want to like shade down to try to take away anything quick to the right, you're hoping they're going to send out 5 and you're going to get a quick sack. So playing hard flats there is good, and then you can just lurk the left side yourself. Now all you're going to do is just like lurk in this like gap right here, and as soon as they hike the ball, you're going to click that right stick, and they should get the slot corner in coming in free. So when you do that, I did not mean to like really go in like that, like I was going to blitz, but it doesn't really make a difference. That slot corner is going to come in, and they get sacked quickly. Like we'll go to the replay here. They get sacked very, very quickly, and they can't really throw anything. So like if they have a table route on the play, that's probably their first read. They look to the right. If they throw that, it's a hard flat out there, and you're just going to make a quick tackle for a 1 or 2 yard gain. And if they don't throw it because it's actually a hard flat, by the time that they look for the next read, they're sacked, right? So that's why this can be really effective if they're sending 5 out. It's just a nice timely blitz when you have a good feeling about that. And I don't know if I noted this, but there's no crash in the D-line. No crash in the D-line. Usually we'll have a crash in the D-line when we do this, but not for the blitz. So keep that in mind. And if you have time, so like this is a quick setup. Like we already got set up, but if you have time, something you can do, you can pull this safety down to try to take away any seam streaks quickly. You can pull this hard flat down so they can play a little bit quicker to the flats. If you have time to do that. If not, it's not the biggest deal either. But for the most part, you're going to get this slot corner in free quickly. and they don't really have time to throw anything at all, right? So if they're sending 5 out, they're kind of be in trouble, or they're gonna have to make a really quick read, which can lead to mistakes at times, right? So that's the blitz. I mean, you already see how the trips tight end, no reason to really make it any longer. We'll go to some other formations now just to show you that you can do it quickly. I'm just moving some players around just to show you that you can do that. And it can help the blitz a little bit as well, especially if they're in something like trips tight end. Most of the time, they're going to end up doing a lot of hot routes, maybe even doing some motion. So it won't affect you too much as far as being able to get your players in position, do any adjustments you want to do. I'm going to cover all the adjustments in the adjustments part of the section of this formation. But I just want to go over that quick thing of replacing the flat if you're going to do that spy. And we'll jump over to bunch now just so we can go over how it works against other things, just to show you it works on other things. And we'll do it out of the cover too as well, just to show you can use different defenses as well. So we'll use the SS Blitz 2 here. Quickly go to bunch. Take a 5-out play. And yeah, we'll call the SS Blitz 2. It's going to work the same exact way. You're just going to press, pinch, and then you have a choice here. So since the linebackers line up inside on the cover 2, you can just spy either one that you want. I would prefer to spy the one that's not on the running back side, just like this. And that way you can lurk the running back quickly to the flat outside. So maybe you want to do something like this, man that player up to B. Maybe you can put this player in a middle third like this to stop any seam streaks. Maybe man this player up to the tight end, do something like that. But again, I'll cover the adjustments in the adjustments part of the video, but that's just something I would note so that you can just quickly lurk the running back when they send them out. It's going to be the same exact thing. You just click that right stick, and you see there we got 2 free. Very quickly, we take away the running back, and they have to make a quick read. So right there, they probably would have just thrown the thing, the open route over the middle of the little spot and go route. But again, if we're adjusting, maybe we put a deep third and we pull it all the way down, they're not going to be able to make that read very quickly. And if their first read was the running back, they might not be able to make that read because we took that away very quickly. Or maybe we even get a lurk because you see us come down in the line. You might try to instantly throw that. We bounce out there. We might be able to get a user pick on that. So definitely keep that in mind. That's the blitz against bunch. We'll do one more here. I'll actually show it to you out of the cover 0. When you're in the cover 0, though, you're going to have to change up how your defense is playing. So if you see here, this tight end is manned up by the safety over here. What I would probably do is I would put this on the running back here, and then I would use the tight end myself and spy here. Just like that, just because it's going to be really tough. The tight end will likely be on a flat or an out route or something like that, and the safety's not going to be able to get over there in time. So that will take away the running back, and then when you do that, quickly get set up, you get that corner free. It's tough to make a read against that. So that's the blitz against bunch. Now I'll go to one last formation here. We'll go against gun doubles. But I do want to show you, out of the gun doubles H-back weak, you can have a little bit of trouble. So I talked about auto flip before in the nickel 3-5 blitz. In this doubles regular, you might not doubles H-back weak, your slot corner will likely be on the running back side, and when that's the case, if they block the running back, your blitz is going to have a lot more trouble coming in. It's not going to come in all the time against a block running back anyways, but if they're on the same side as the slot corner, it makes it a lot more difficult. You would prefer to have that slot corner opposite the running back, so if they do block, you have more of a chance of it still coming in. But if you have auto flip on, you're going to have to flip after the play. So if you're using that, which I do recommend using, I use the auto flip. Just keep in mind, if you think they might block the running back, you might want to flip it. So if you'd rather just trust yourself and not use auto flip and kind of know which side they're going to come out to, you can just do it yourself and make sure you have the slot corner opposite the running back. So I just wanted to note that. We'll go into gun doubles now. We'll just call bot smash, so that'll work. And then we'll go to the SS Blitz 3 again. So again, same thing, just press and pinch. Players are already in position there in the slot. If you want to move them a little bit, you can. I'd probably recommend just keeping them there, just because if you want to man them up in the disguise, you'd still like to get that press. Spy there. Blitz here. And again, same thing I wanted to note before. If you want to replace that flat, you can. Like that, and shade down, just so you have it on the running back side if they send the player out quick. But keep in mind, you don't have to do that. It's completely up to you. And if you're in cover 2, that's not an issue for you. So just want to note those things really quickly. So here's the blitz. Quickly send. Block corner's coming off the edge. So that's the key here. You see the blitz works. I just wanted to note that it's got to be a timely thing. If they're not sending 5 receivers out, I would continue to play coverage with 8 or 9 out there and continue to try to take away as many routes as you can. Once they start sending that 5 out, that's when you can start mixing this in. Maybe make them make a mistake, or maybe get ahead on the downs with a sack. So you already seen the blitzes worked a few times. I'll do it one last time here, and then we'll call this video. But definitely something that I would recommend mixing in for sure. And just paying attention to what they're doing on the offensive side of the ball, if they're sending people out or not, etc., etc. And there it is. So I hope you all will use this. I hope you all will mix it into your defense, and I hope it was a helpful video for you.